In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight, and sitting across from me is the one, the only, Cash Kraus.
The only one that I've ever found that I've been hunting
Still
for
on the
him.
search.
Well, I'll kill anyone I found named Cash Kraus because he's
Right,
because there can only be one.
There can only be
Highlander
one,
style,
yeah.
of course. Yeah,
Yes.
we are back. This is a Blockbuster
Monday.
a
It
Blockbuster
is.
Monday edition of Have You Seen It? And we actually have a new film.
We do, finally. It is not a technical blockbuster, but we cannot do that
Well,
because of this whole COVID situation.
Yeah, there technically is no such thing anymore as
there is
Blockbusters.
not.
They've
But we
erased
are
it.
sticking to that name, damn it. Because
Well,
we have faith that one day we will get out of this
But
crisis.
faith dwindling, slowly dwindling.
Well, more
So maybe a week
specifically
from now,
just in this country.
So maybe a week from now, yeah, exactly. So maybe a week from now, we might change the name to something, but for now, we're keeping it the
We
same.
are.
There's hope.
There is hope.
There's a few people still fighting the good fight out there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so this week, this is exciting. A movie that I've wanted to review. We are doing the new Hulu film, Palm Springs.
Yes.
New rom-com.
The
And you
new
know
rom-com.
I love rom-coms.
No, you can't stand them, Cash. Don't you lie to these people. Don't you
That's
lie,
true.
you
I can't.
bastard.
Usually, yeah, they are my least favorite genre or subgenre of film. But I gotta say, this film broke that mold for me.
Yes.
This is probably my favorite film of the year so far.
Wow.
Yeah, I fucking
I mean, being that nothing has came out since March,
yeah, it's
I
true.
get it.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
understand
Although
that,
I've
but-
heard First Cow is like fucking revolutionary.
which is our
Alls
next
I hear,
Monday.
alls I hear is people talking about fucking First Cow.
Yeah.
Alls I hear about it, but yeah, so shout out for that. But this so far, yeah, like you said, not a lot of things have come out, but even I feel like in a year where a lot of things come out, this film would still be up there with my favorite. I just fucking loved it.
Well, it's all the way around, just really funny, really hilarious. The story was moved along great, and it's only 90 minutes too. But I didn't feel like it was too short or too long. It was just perfect.
This film is, like you're saying, it's so likable. It's just so easy to dive into, and you can
And I
see
think
it being it's gonna be a classic for years. And I know it's crazy to say, but it is, man. It's so good, and yeah, like you said, only 90 minutes, and at the start, you almost feel like it might have a bit off too much to chew.
Yeah.
Because you feel like it's got to explain all this. For people that don't know, it's a Groundhog situation.
It is.
Groundhog Day situation. It stars Andy Samberg, who's fucking fantastic, and just getting better and better actor the more stuff he does.
And just funny too, man. He's just all
so damn
around
funny.
hilarious.
If you're not watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, get on it. It's so damn good. It's
gotta
one of
be
my
honest.
favorite shows. It's
I
so
have
good.
not watched that
Well,
show.
it's on-
I've watched little bits and episodes.
It's on
but
Hulu. The whole cast, man. And it's got Terry Crews,
Terry
who's
Crews.
just fucking awesome.
You can't go wrong with Terry.
No, he can't go wrong with Terry. Everyone loves Terry Crews.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just fucking fantastic. But that's something that this film does so well is the chemistry is so good in this film. For him, for
J.K. Simmons is awesome in this.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons,
Yeah.
who is fucking amazing.
So funny.
His chemistry
character, too.
with Andy it's amazing. It feels like they've been doing films for years. It's so good. But and Christine Melody, who is just fantastic in this as well.
Yes, she is.
That's what props this movie up so well is the chemistry. I mean, it's basically just three characters, but it's so well done. I couldn't believe it. And the editing. The editing is fantastic. And we talk about all the time how important that is for comedy films. But for this film in particular, with one that deals a lot with, time loops and stuff, it's so good. With them, like, immediately like, always dying, and then the quick edit of them immediately popping up right back. Yeah, with wake up
Every
from
time.
Misty. It was just a fucking buzzkill.
She is, absolutely. I love the other one, too. It's going to be a beautiful wedding every day.
And her waking up with him in the shower every day, man, that was brutal. That's what this movie does, too. It's sad. And that's what a good rom-com, I guess, has to do. It's got to have that dramatic slope. You know when it's coming, but
and the journey for the characters too.
Yeah,
in that tribulation or turbulence in the relationship before it can become mend once more.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's again what this film does so well is the arc it's taking. It's going up where everything is so good. And then it's going to hit that down slope, and then it's going to come up right at the end. And it's coming, but again, this film keeps it fresh with the way it does it. It's good, and there's not a lot of good films that have redone the Groundhog Day. The best one since Groundhog Day is Live, Die, Repeat with Tom Hanks. Edge of Tomorrow, I guess. Tom Cruise, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant, awesome. And then it's got what's her name from John Krasinski's wife?
Emily Blunt.
Thank you.
How dare
embarrassing.
you? How dare you?
And turn off.
We have to restart. Because she's
she's
listening because she's a faithful
she's a
follower.
huge fan. I know, and I'm so sorry, Emily. You do not deserve that.
And to John, because John's going to be pissed too.
Yeah,
how dare you forget my wife?
I know.
Brutal.
Yeah, but there's no way to move on.
But that is the best. That's the best since Groundhog. And this has been done many, many times, and through like thrillers and horrors. Remember they did that Happy Death Day or whatever that one is.
I never ended up watching that one.
It wasn't very good, but they've done it so many times where you think it might have been overdone, but again they keep it fresh. I couldn't believe it.
It's such an original idea too. It's just like, Groundhog's Day is one thing, but the way they put this whole film together with the wedding, with the cave and the time loop, it was really funny. And they didn't have to get into deep explanation of what the cave was, what the time loop was. It actually worked in its favor.
It was just,
the less you knew, the better.
It was just enough to where you didn't need to know anymore, and you didn't want to know anymore either. It was just, exactly. I'm glad they didn't get into, the science of it.
Yeah, the logistics. It would have got boring.
But yeah, it's an original and it's an unoriginal idea, like you said, because Groundhog Day is damn near the perfect rom-com. It's probably the best rom-com of all time.
And
so to take this on and to not do it to where it feels like it's copying Groundhog Day at all in any sense, it's a tough task to do. Yeah. It's a tough task to pull off.
It took the concept, but the story is just completely original and
its
unique.
own. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I can't talk highly enough about this film.
Well, I think people at Sundance knew that this film was going to be a hit and a success because it held the record at Sundance for the biggest sale at a Sundance Film Festival at $17.5 million and 69 cents, beating the previous record by, you guessed it,
that's just
69
a fuck
cents.
you. Yeah, that's just fuck you. And a film, I can't remember the film, but it was a box office bomb was the previous.
That's so brutal.
Yeah.
Well, this one would
17 million is not a lot of money.
No, it's not.
I mean, that isn't. I mean, it's the most for an indie film for sure, but that is not a lot of money, and you're not paying to make the film at all.
No.
You're just paying the distribution rights.
What I will say though is Hulu scored on this film.
Yes, yeah.
Like, they scored, man, because everyone's going.
I think they're
going to
make their money
this.
back.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
they're going to make their money back. Yeah.
Well, the film was made for $5 million too, so the production team and everything was happy about that.
Crazy to me. Yeah. $5 million. So they paid 3 times its budget just to distribute it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
that's
they know.
Nice. Hey, that's a good turnaround.
That's the kind of film you
complaining.
see and you immediately know you have to have it.
Yeah.
I mean, as an exec, you see it and be like, oh, this film is going to be. Because I'm telling you, it's something special.
It is.
I really do think people are going to be talking about this film for a long... And I feel like it's got a lot of rewatchability, too, because you can go back and kind of piece things together because of how he plays his everyday life where he knows everything. He's the trash can thing. And
I did like that. I like how they did that kind of in reverse, where it was initially Andy Samberg. And, you're kind of like, why is this guy kind of so just... kick back and relax like he'd done it a million times. Well, and then sure enough, I mean, you knew what the concept of the film was about, but I like the reveal of that later on.
Well, what it does is what it does differently, and I keep going back to Groundhog Day, is it immediately starts and Andy Samberg's already
He's already in the loop.
It's already established, and that saves you a lot of time.
Yep.
And that's why at the start I was thinking, Jesus, this film's got to go back. It's got to go to explain and all that. I feel like it's going to be, they're going to run out of time. But they do it, again, in such a way where it's perfect. The flashbacks and him explaining to her how it happens and whatnot, it's very quick to where they can get it done and then get on with the rest of the movie.
Yep.
But, yeah. Love that. Love that they already started and they didn't have to explain it.
One of my favorite scenes, I love when Andy Samberg's coming in, and this is kind of before you know that he's already in the loop, but he's eyeballing her from across the wedding and everyone's dancing, Yeah. And after the speech is hilarious. And
It's
the grandmother.
so good. It's so obvious. Yeah, and he gets up and he's married to like one of the bridesmaids. Or he's dating one of the brides. So he's not family at all.
Not at all.
So he immediately gets up and they're like, who the hell is this guy? But that's what's fun about a wedding is it doesn't matter who you are. You get up there and lay down a sick fucking speech. You're in. You're
the
family.
clear. You're good.
You're family. Like,
Who's that guy?
I love the way he goes,
They do it
all
every
right,
day.
let's dance.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, who the fuck? And they just start
And again,
cheering.
you talk about the good editing or the great editing. That's what it was. He goes, okay, let's dance. And I felt at times the editing was a lot, and I'm not talking about the exact same comedy, but the editing was kind of like Hot Rod, where they go, okay, let's party. And then it's that quick edit, and then they're like doing this, dancing.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Well,
the same thing with this.
Well, it was one of the production companies was the Long Island or whatever, him and the guy from Saturday Night Live,
Right,
they both
yep.
do. So you definitely feel like they had
and I
a
felt
role
those
in the writing.
vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of improv too and stuff like that on the set, which they bring their own vibe to.
Yeah,
but
Lonely Island classics.
Lonely Island classics, yeah, and they did Pop Star, Never Stop Popping, which was so underrated. No one
talks about that.
did you see it?
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
It was so good.
I thought it was great.
It was
Those
good,
Justin
yeah.
Bieber jokes were good too because they were relevant at the time.
It was really funny, man. It was so underrated. I can't believe. And that was that 2018.
No, that was
2017.
way farther back.
I think it's 2017. Yeah, that was underrated. I can't believe that more people didn't see that.
I know. I'm dead serious. Still to this day, though, my favorite comedy of all time, hands down,
know, you tell me all the time.
is Hot Rod. It's just every scene's hilarious to me.
But I like that scene when he's opening up with the speech, and then you know that he's done this, and it's vague, because he doesn't even know how long he's been in there. He might have done this millions of times.
Starting to lose his memory.
There's no time.
too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been so long that he can't even remember. And I like that element. That's pretty dark.
Super dark.
Go back, and now he's trying.
He couldn't even remember the job that he was working at before.
yeah.
That means he's in the loop for tens of thousands of days.
You don't even
that's
know.
my assumption.
Years. Yeah, it could be thousands of
But
years.
again, open to interpretation. You got to make the choice on your own.
Oh, yeah.
For how long he's been in there.
But it's long enough to where he is fucking smooth as hell everywhere he goes. Like, because it's set in Palm Springs, so I guess he's gone everywhere in Palm Springs at this moment. Well, because he explains how he even tried to do a bunch of crystal meth and tried to get to New Guinea, and they just arrested him right off the plane, and he fell asleep 2 hours later.
And he's right back there. And the concept too, every time you fall asleep, which is, there are kind of some horror elements to that too, because like she drives all the way back to her home.
And that's another something that it does something that it does just as good as, or even better or different than Groundhog Day, was it kind of really answers those dark questions that everyone had watching that. Like, okay, I assume you're killing yourself every day, and you're killing probably other people at the start.
Yeah.
So and it gets into that, and he gets into something that you always talk about, where it's like, you're going to do something and you're not going to die, and you're just going to be suffering in the ICU. And he says, that's one thing you don't want to do. Suffer.
I've done it a few times.
Just waiting to go to sleep, and they're protein prodding you while you're just probably paralyzed from the neck down.
And they don't want you to sleep because they don't want you to die. It's an awful scenario.
But that's something that Groundhog Day never talked about. Never got into.
It got a little dark when you like dropped the toaster in the
well,
tub,
he killed
but
himself constantly. Yeah. But it was more of a comedic bit, and it never really asked the question of like the rules behind it and stuff like that. But and I liked the whole element of the cave and shit like that. And we'll jump on around, but one of my favorite scenes is the dinosaur scene. When they're
tripping on mushrooms.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
And that can represent so many different things. You could think for one, maybe they're just tripping, but they both for one would have to be having a shared hallucination.
Yes.
Which is, you gotta be tripping pretty hard.
Which is possible.
You gotta be on another level to be
You see the little alien people on DMT. Everyone does.
But but to me, it represents like these things are stuck in the same loop. Like this animal of dinosaur or this family of dinosaurs found the same thing, and they're constantly reliving the same day over and over again, and starting to blur like together with regular time. And that's what he's seeing. Yeah. Because at the very end, when it ends and it pans up from them in the pool, you know, it shows the dinosaurs, the family. So they're real. They're actually there.
Right.
So, and was an awesome element that came out of nowhere. You did not see that coming. You know, it's such a cool, and again, really good fucking editing.
Yeah.
Because they're just sitting there and they look up and it's these fucking long necks, like Jurassic Park. It's awesome. It was a really cool, well done scene. But they also bang during that scene too.
They do.
First time.
Yeah,
First time in a
first
long
time.
Yeah. Turns out he banged her many. She was the easy get.
It was so funny too, because when she first asked him, "Hold on, have we done this before?" and he's like, "No."
That's one of my favorite
never.
scenes where she asked him, "Well, who have you done?" And he goes, "Well, let me think." And he goes through
everyone.
He did the bartender who's really fucking weird. Remember, she's giving him a hand job in the car.
Yeah, she's like, I hit someone with this car or something like that.
I don't think he ever walked again. And then he's like, oh, he's so freaked out.
And then that one lady at the bar.
Yep.
The older lady.
What was her name? Like Darla or something like that. But he
Darcy
did.
or Darla.
And Jerry. The guy, after so much time, he eventually, dipped his toes on the other team. Yeah. That's so funny. And he loved it. And then the funniest part is like, oh, and your dad. And it shows the scene. He's like, what are we doing?
He's like, funny. I don't know. And then he's like, just kidding.
That who knows? He probably fucking did.
He might have.
At that point,
have tried.
You had to have gone with everyone.
I love that he tried to do it with the bride, too. He grabs the mic. He's like, hello. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, we're trying to dance.
This is the first dance.
Yeah.
Is that a bad time? And it zooms out. In Greta, it zooms out, and he's wearing swimming shorts and a regular, like a Tommy Bahama button-up and a shitty tie. It's so funny. But, yeah, that was great. The Coke scene with J.K. Simmons was fucking awesome. Yeah. When they're in the bathtub together and they're freaking out because the guy's slamming the door. I need my pills. And he's freaking out.
It's like red or it's like orange and blue pills too, so it's like a combination of like a bunch
they're in
of
the
drugs.
bathtub. Like we're in the shit. We're in the shit. Like they're in Vietnam. And that's a great scene. That whole dynamic, J.K. Simmons and him eventually, because J.K. Simmons, he goes and he gets stuck in the loop as well. Yeah. To Andy, and then he hunts down Andy as revenge for like every like few loops.
Yes.
But that whole element of him going back and him finding his family and like and seeing that he has like an actual like he had no reason to like even want to get out of that. Yeah. And for him to learn after years and years that that whole thing was worth it, his family. But it took him many loops.
He says that, but he does say some of the negatives that come with that, like not being able to see his two daughters grow up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, again, which was dark. But the whole thing is when they first meet, he's talking about how marriage is a bottomless pit and all this dark shit. But after this
he learned a lot through it.
Oh, yeah. And that's a hilarious scene where he's like, yeah, my wife, she's great. My son, he's watering the dog shit. He's over sprinkling water on the dog shit. It's
when his daughter wears the princess dress every day and rides that horse. Yep.
Yeah, it's a great scene. Yeah, and it's a tough moment for Andy Samberg because Andy Samberg has no one, and at least J.K. Simmons, he has his family that he can see every single day. Yeah, but,
which has got to be a little comforting.
Oh yeah. At least you have something.
Well, I got to talk about Andy Samberg and J.K. Simmons. They work so well together, and I actually didn't initially know this, but they've worked together multiple times.
I know one right off the bat is
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I forgot that. Yeah, J.K. Simmons. He's not in that. I just guessed. But I Love You, Man.
Yes, I Love You, Man in 2009. Yeah.
Which Andy Samberg has a very small role. Mary plays his gay brother. He has a very small role in that. But they have done a few things together. Yeah. Which makes sense because they feel so comfortable with each other.
I love the way J.K. Simmons introduced with the crossbow, and she's just freaking out. She's like, what the fuck?
Roy, I knew you were here. It's so funny. funny. She's losing her mind.
I would too. That's actually more
scariest thing ever,
terrifying
yeah.
than a gunshot. Imagine just an arrow.
Oh
hitting
yeah, and that's
someone.
the thing. He always hunts him down with a fucking bow. It's
Yeah.
it's horrible.
It's like Rambo situation.
oh, that part's so funny. Yeah, I knew I smelled you, Roy. Yeah, that part's really good. And that's how he gets her into the fucking cave
He does.
with the fucking arrow. But
Oh man.
that's another good scene where she runs J.K. Simmons over later and just destroys it.
His legs.
He's like, I was in the ICU for 2 days after that. They wouldn't let me go to sleep. They're afraid I'd slip in a coma.
A good callback to the
Who was that bitch? Remember
Yeah.
That was really funny. And that kind of tense moment when he pulls him over as a cop
As
or
a cop,
whatever. Yeah. But that's the low moment where they have that big the big outing between Andy and Christina.
Yes.
Because Andy's whole thing is like nothing matters at this point, which obviously he's been in this thing for fucking years probably. Yeah, nothing would matter.
I think at moments too, this film did get very deep. You know, when Andy and the girlfriend. They're talking and he's like, you know what, you just need to do something. She's like, I just need to do something.
Niles
that's right.
and Sarah's.
Niles and Sarah's, yeah. I just need to do something right, and then I'll get out of here.
That's a brutal scene.
And then she goes to the wedding, and she goes and she whispers in her sister's ear, but you don't know what it is. It's kind of foreshadowing for what eventually we find out, that she slept with her fiance
On the eve
on
of
the
their
eve
wedding.
of their wedding.
That's a tough one.
That's you just got to be a real shitty person.
Absolutely.
You just got to.
And that's the thing, is she was a shitty person, and and the groom obviously was a really fucking
Not a-
shitty
yeah.
person. But yeah, like you said, it has the perfect balance of that drama and really lighthearted comedy. That's really, and that's what makes it so good. Is it's that perfect balance, and they do shit in like the loop that I would do if I was stuck in time, like stealing the plane. Man, that part's so funny when they're like, ooh, they're like overdoing it.
when then she pulls the black box out
Yeah,
and it goes.
That part's
blows up.
so funny when they have like the old like 1930s bomber caps
Yes.
on. And they're like, ooh, like it's so funny. Imagine being the plane owner. And like, what the
Just
fuck?
the frustration.
And they go to like the gun,
That one guy,
Spud.
yeah.
And that part is so funny when they go back to him.
He's like,
Spud, wait! Who the hell are you, man? He's freaking out. He's like, 30 years ago, you met a woman in a bathroom bar that took your virginity. Spud, I'm your son. I always knew. He throws the gun.
It's done so well too.
I always knew. He's so happy. Dude. He's like the biggest redneck of all
He
time.
is.
He has like 3 teeth. He became very. I always knew. That part just kills me. Oh, classic Spud.
Yeah, Spud's just out there doing.
He's
his
living his
thing.
life.
He is.
His woman left him.
I love that. Again, great writing throughout this whole thing, because they keep showing up. He goes, this is kind of my safe house. He goes, the family's gone on November 9th. He goes, I don't know when they get back because, it's the same day over and over. And then at the very end of the film, the family's like, what the fuck are you guys doing in our pool?
Yeah, they finally come back.
Yeah, they get out of the loop.
Like you said, that was really good editing too. Because I could definitely see it where we won't spoil it too much, but at the end, they get out of it and it just goes black. You know, and it's just left up to you whether they actually survive or not. Because the whole premise of how they were gonna get out was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was why I know she's like learning quantum
But
physics.
I like that too, because imagine she's gonna come out of that with a fucking degree in. That's if I knew how to get out of it. I would first learn a skill for the first 1,000 days, then get out of it, and then you wake up in the new world and you can play
You're a
piano
prodigy.
or something, or you do something crazy.
Where did this come from? I don't know. I just hit my head on the
and
way
I woke
here,
up the
and
other
I
day
just
and I
woke
could
up
just
and
fucking play anything.
I'm just insanely good at this.
Or learn stock marketing or something like that, or just
It's true.
There's so much you could do to make money during this, but
Well, if the same day goes on every single day, you start realizing what sports teams win.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Back to the Future almanac situation.
well, if there's events,
one day.
if there's events on that day, a sporting event, you could place a bet because you would already know you already lived the day, so you could place an insane bet. And it doesn't get into this, but that's my thinking too. Yeah, you could make a lot of money.
You could,
but I'm guessing at that point you're just fucking. You're thinking you're in purgatory or hell.
That's what I thought this was. I said this was purgatory,
and you don't even care. Yeah, and I like that they always are throwing those random thoughts out. Like Andy Samberg will go in multi-theory or multi-universe theory and all that.
Because those were all the thoughts I had before he brought it up when they're both in the car and they're driving away. And he literally goes through everything. Is this heaven? Is this hell? Is this purgatory?
Yeah.
Is this alternate universe? Like, he just goes through all the list of things that you would think about.
Yeah.
You know, if you were in that.
And that's what my thought leaving it was it was a where they were just splitting off and living every single like multi-universe life. Like they were living every single one. Like if there's parallel dimensions, they were living it every single time. So there's thousands of different realities. They were going because something would change in every one.
Yep.
You know, nothing would be the same. The sister would fall, break her fucking teeth out, or something crazy like that. So everything was different every time. So they're living all these different realities. They're just living every single one. Where normally we would have like duplicates of us in other ones to where we would have to live it.
Yes.
But they're living every one. So yeah,
They are.
you could get deep with it.
You can.
And something that I want to bring up was the Nana. Did you catch anything with the Nana? Did you
She was part of the time loop.
She was.
She
was in it. He somehow, what my theory is, because she's talking about how at the very start when it happens to her, she's got to do some selfless act. And he kind of hints that he already did a selfless act and it didn't work for him. My theory was his selfless act was he took the Nana to where the Nana was like having the best time of her life. You know, she's old. She has all of her grandkids together. That's one person who would want to live that day forever.
Oh, absolutely.
And he took her, and he took her to the loop. Because remember, she comes out at the very start, and she's like, you wouldn't believe how many speeches.
Yes.
So she's just heard his speech a million times. In my mind, she's just sitting back and watching him do something crazy every time she wakes up because she's woken up so many times. So every time she wakes up, though, she's just seeing him do something fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Every time. And she's just sitting back and enjoying it. But that's my theory, was she was in it the entire time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I saw that, too.
Because and at the end, when she comes out and she's like, well, I guess you'll be leaving now. She knows that there's... And in my mind, she might have been there for millions of years. She might have even showed him it, and she has seen people come in and come out of it already. Like there's been other people that were stuck in the loop and have already.
She just loves it because again, it's the best day of her life.
Yeah,
and you're getting older too, you know. So
yeah, exactly. There's probably not going to be another time like that for her.
Yeah.
So why not? I mean, that's heaven for her.
It is
living, and especially if she even knows how to get out. To where she could get out at some point if she wanted to. That's my theories. Nana was really like a fucking time wizard. And she knew like all this shit.
She knew all the tricks and everything.
Yeah. And again, I think it's a telltale sign of a good movie to where you can have all these fucking theories and where the director knows enough to leave some things ambiguous and leave it up to the viewer. I love that. I love that he did that with the dinosaurs where it's no concrete answer of what why there's fucking dinosaurs. But it was a beautiful scene, and your mind could fill in the blanks for you, and it makes it more fun. You know,
it does.
It makes it an interactive art to where you feel like you're kind of part of it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I didn't even think about it that way. Yeah,
absolutely, it's a beautiful film.
It is.
That's. Do you have anything else on it?
No, I don't. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Let me check my notes to see if I make sure I got everything up. But yeah, I think that was it. I would just highly recommend this film.
Yes.
Like, make it the next film you're going to watch.
Absolutely.
Is my...
Palm Springs.
Yeah, exactly. Don't watch The Office. Don't repeat The Office for the 9th time. Watch this film. Watch something new. And then go back to The Office.
Yeah.
And rewatch it for the 20th time.
I agree.
Watch something else. But I'm telling you, this needs to be in the next film on your list.
Yeah.
It's up there for my favorite. I don't know what else... could beat it this year.
We will find that out at the end of this year because we always do a top 10.
Yeah, which is going to be a wild year this year.
It will be.
Invisible Man's going to be up number 2 only because there's only 4 movies. But Invisible Man was great.
It was.
That's the film that comes to my mind when I'm thinking of best films of the year. I think Invisible Man.
Well, I think Tenet's going to be up there.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If it ever releases. I don't think it's going to be released.
It's so sad. It's going to get pushed back to next year, you think so? Next summer?
We can't get the COVID under it.
I know. We can't get it under control.
We're
Florida
the
has
only country in the world.
15,000
We're
cases.
the only country in the world that cannot figure it out. If you're watching America right now, do the opposite of what we're doing.
Yeah.
You'll be cured in a week.
Exactly.
But which sucks. It
does.
sucks.
It
It sucks
does
for people that are doing what you're supposed to do. But we can't.
We don't have everyone doing that.
You know, Christopher Nolan is fucking personally out there making sure people are gloving up, wearing masks.
Oh, yeah.
He's out there separating 6 feet apart. He knows.
He's fuming, too.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows people need to see his film. But who knows? Yeah. I was thinking maybe he'll release it just in England or something, but they'd never do that.
No.
Because you're making your bank here in
Exactly.
the States. All right.
Alrighty, well, that is our review for Palm Springs. If you guys like what you're seeing here and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. If you're listening in audio format, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter, that's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It? Podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause, and until next time.
Bye.